All right, everybody, Jared here from Crypto Plan, and today we're going to talk about XLM and the Stellar project or network and how I feel like this is a buy. This is going to be one of the biggest surprises, the biggest movers and shakers in the next alt season because of what it's done in the last leg up and what I believe it's going to do in the next leg up. But before I get into my analysis of XLM, please like, subscribe, do all those things, click the notification bell so I know that you like these videos. I know I can create more content like that. And I know that you can want to share it with the rest of the world. So let's get right into it because we are looking at XLM on the 4-hour chart versus the US dollar on the Bitfinex. Now, you can see I've got a couple of things there. I've got a ray, an upward angled ray, which shows you that there was an uptrend going on since March, like most of the cryptocurrencies were, because they dipped so low. But then this one retraced and it had this really long consolidation, just like XRP, just like a lot of the altcoins, right? But like Stellar was even more painful. It was just doing absolutely nothing. It was just ranging in such a low range, and I had held it and sold it, and I only had a small amount. It was like a little tiny hedge. It was like 0.5% of my portfolio. I think I had 3,000 or 4,000 Stellar lumens there. But then I'm going to call this the lucky coin because I saw all the price action, and luckily enough, XRP was taking off and other coins were taking off, and Stellar just hadn't quite taken off, and I was just like bang, and I think I bought 10,000 Stellar just before this big move up, and then bought another 2,000 on the way up, and so I've got a fairly good average price here of about 8 cents, and then just went on that 150% tear. So that's the first time it had happened to me, but it was just lucky enough that I was watching so many charts and things were popping off, and I was like, bang, that hasn't popped yet. And so I got in there. So that's something to be aware of in the next bull run, the next pump of this bull run or the alt season, is that some things are going to go first, and just be watching the things that haven't quite taken off. Like even today, I can see Stellar is 12% up, while Cardano's only 7% up. XRP's lagging. So Stellar is leading the way today, while XRP is kind of holding back because maybe the Spark token people sold out and they're buying into other things that were waiting to buy into after the Spark snapshot. So, Ethereum's 4%. So Stellar is leading the way today. So that says to me, of the other altcoins that you're watching, and for me, it's things like Dash, it's a little bit lagged. You could pile into that if things like XLM really fire off and indicate the beginning of the next leg up for the alts. But anyway, we're talking about XLM here, and we're talking about this 150% move, and I'm going to maybe give some price targets. You can already see I've got lines up here. This is more like a resistance line that I'd like to see broken to kind of confirm that we're in the next run. But this trend line in particular, notice in this area here, the way it broke through that, that top of the upward trend range, just shows you how bullish that is. And if we get a kind of a percentage on that, like it was 20% more bullish than that trend line. So it didn't hit that and kind of retrace. It went another 20% above it, which is kind of crazy. And it's like every other coin, it's done the kind of up, down, consolidate. But right now you can see from that 22-cent mark, you can buy it today at 17 cents. And that's, for me, that's a bargain. If you don't own any XLM and you didn't FOMO in on the last time, and what it's doing right now, it's a buy. It's a buy right now. Not investment advice. Do your own research, but you've got a couple of factors. You've got, well, it's an altcoin. It's pushing its way into the top 10. It's getting partnerships with major banks to help the unbanked. It's helping people move small amounts of cash around the world. So people will be buying this and using this as a bridge currency to move money around the world. So it's a serious project, and it's backed by Jed McCaleb, who some people don't like, but I think the guy's a genius in the sense that he's been around since Bitcoin in the early days. He was a forefather in helping people like us buy Bitcoin, XRP, and things on exchanges, and he is continuing to do great things for good reasons in the Stellar project, And he's just an old guy, old OG in the cryptocurrency space. So Stellar is a buy. Now we're going to go over and have a look at our longer term trends, and we're going to look at what Stellar is doing. Now I'm going to just delete that Fib Retracement. So if we use a couple of methods to try and get an idea of where we're going, we could get some shorter term price targets above our current prices. So if we're at 17 cents now, we're going to use our percentage gain method. So if we go as high as that bar there, we've got a 200% move, we could then see potentially from these bottoms another 200% move. So we've kind of played that one out. So that's cool. It just shows us that we've overextended and we're extra bullish on where we could potentially go. But thinking about onwards and upwards move, and we're on the 2-week chart, and having a look here that we've got a 19 cent resistance line here. I'm just going to put that in for good measure. So that's where we want to break out of to pull our next move off. Now, so let's go and do the Fib Retracement, and we'll do it from here down to there. And the next extension we're seeing is up in the 26 cent mark. So that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. So if we could buy in at 17 cents and know that in a pretty short amount of time it's going to at least hit 26 cents, so we can nearly double our money there, which is a good kind of safe bet if you want another bag in your cryptocurrency bag, and especially if it makes any kind of quick dips in the next few days. And then the next kind of method we're going to use is this trend angle method. So we'll go all the way up, that move there, at a 70%, and yeah, so that's also getting us somewhere in there. So what that's saying is that we're a little bit ahead of ourselves, as in we're where we probably should have been on the next leg. But I think what's happened here is that we were so tightened that we held back and then pumped up so quickly, and we've retraced. So the next thing we can do to kind of have a look at potentially a shorter time frame, so we might go down to the 3-day and really look at this particular move here and see what that says for an upward trend. So if we did a fib on this, it might get us a better idea on the short-term time frame, because what that was telling us just now is that we've kind of played out our longer-term move by hitting close to the middle of this range of targets. So the realistic kind of move on this shorter time frame, because on that monthly it was a little bit all over the shop, and sometimes you have to do this if the data's not giving you the love you need. We can now kind of look at this top range of the 50 cent range, and I think if I went back to my chart over here, I've got that in there as my kind of first sell target. So that would be, if I was going to say scale out 30% of my initial investment, that might be at the 50 cent mark. So that's kind of where we're heading with Stellar. And that, once again, from 17 cent now to 50, that is close to a 4x, which is super cool. But then we've got this kind of $3 target for the peak of the alt season. So like I say, like I've said, just did a video earlier on VeChain, and you've got these kind of short-term 2 to 3 months targets where if you invested in something and you want to take that bit out so that the rest of the move is just the play money, this is kind of that level that we could see in the next move. And then if you want to hold tight with all of your bag or some of your bag, heading towards $3 there is that kind of super optimistic leg up, and we get that target by kind of doing the fib retracement on the entire market from, and I think if we did it from here, which is kind of past the bull run, so of a retracement. So even if we did it, maybe we've got to go over to CoinTrader here, and this is where we get the all-time data. So XLM over USD, Stellar over USD, and have a look there. And we just need to get the monthly there, the monthly, and we need to have a look at that. So yeah, with 54 cents was its all-time high there, maybe a little bit higher. But if we start with our 54 cents on that monthly and do a fib retracement on the entire move, we could see something along these lines play out. And if we start there and we go all the way down to that bottom, we might see some kind of guesstimation of where we're going to extend to, and that's once again getting us close to that range that we had before of the $3 mark. So this might be a little bit more conservative of, say, let's if we're holding our bags till the end of the full alt season or the full extension of the bull run or the peak, we might be looking to scale out our first bit about 190 and then about 230. But once again, if we did that there at 54, but that thing wicked up to 90. So if we do it this way, and on that all-time data, it wicked up to about 90, we could even potentially and this is on the super bullish side, that's where we get that 330 and potentially even that $4 mark or that 380 mark. Once again, similar to where XRP reached out in the last bull run on its second alt season. So Stellar, very, very optimistic on this particular project and this particular coin, buying at 17 cents, especially if you're willing to hold and maybe start scaling out at scaling out 10 to 15% at the $1.90, then some out at the $2.20, and then looking for these higher end targets for the rest of your position, maybe saving your last 20% for the 380 mark, and then you've got a nice average out of your position and you're not kind of getting up to that top and going, oh wait, and then it kind of turns the corner on you and you missed out anyway. Yes, you can kind of sell out on the other side of that peak, but wouldn't it be nice to have those targets and have that strategy and have that crypto plan to buy now at 17 and then average your way out? So just recapping, we've got some kind of clear short-term targets of, we've already been in that 19 cents range. We want to break 19 cents to show that we're bullish again, and then head immediately in the short term to 27 cents. That would give us some greater confirmation that we're heading onwards and upwards to this 50 cent target in the next leg up, which is super cool. So, and that's kind of 4x on our money from today into that leg, and then potentially kind of having some resistance here because that's our monthly resistance from that all-time high. So we're going to definitely possibly go a little bit sideways around the 50 to 55 cent mark, but then once we break through that resistance, we're going up to these targets of 1.9 through 3.8. 1.9 being the more conservative end of it and the 3.8 being the more aggressive bullish end of it. And what Stellar's showing us right now is that it can definitely reach out to these more aggressive targets of $3 to $4. So that's where we're at with Stellar. So I'm just going to leave it there. And like I say, have a plan, have an exit plan, and know where you're going to put your money. Because, you know, for me, and I've got some videos on it, if you want to start thinking this way, is, you know, after, you know, a year's time, when this bull run's played out in cryptocurrencies, because it happens so fast, we're going to be well and truly into a gold and silver bull run. So we could be leveraging into some of those stocks, or, you know, or leveraging out of some of our cryptos into those stocks and riding the last 2 to 3 years of the gold and silver bull run, and just kind of keeping an eye on things. And once again, things that haven't leaped off in that market, we could put some of our profits in there. Obviously pay the tax man first out of these ones, put some of our profits in the junior gold and silver miners, uranium, copper, those kind of things, the commodities, because they're going to be the next thing, right? You know, the thing that's going to fuel this development of everyone into the next phase of human evolution into EV, you know, it's going green, going solar, going first world for half of the second and third world. You know, they're all going to need fridges, microwaves, TVs, cars. So we're moving into a world that's going to need this base commodities to be in more greater supply. So that's where I'm heading next, and I've got the videos about that. But I know this, you've clicked on this video of cryptocurrency. I just want you to have a plan and be thinking about what to do next with your profits, because you may as well roll it over into something that's in an uptrend, right? You know, and that's not necessarily going to be flash in the pan stocks that are IPOing, or EV manufacturers that are going bust because they're promising the world and delivering nothing. So think about commodities, think about the ingredients that are needed to make these flashy things that are flying around in the stock market at the moment. Rare earth metals is another one, you know. So have your ear to the ground. Think macro, you know, think why. Why are people adopting cryptocurrencies? Because currencies are debasing and people are hedging into them. You know, they're using these as a hedge against inflation. Why will you put your money, or why will big funds and flow into commodities and things like that, and metals and precious metals? Once again, because it's a hedge. It's a hedge because people need those things, and they have value. You know, dirt on the ground has value, whereas a currency in your bank account has a very zero value or declining value. So I'm just going to leave it there. That was my little macro view on the world. But like, subscribe, do that thing, share, tell people about it if you got some value. And if not, just hold tight, buy some Stellar if you like it. Not financial advice, but you can see that there's some clear positive targets there in the next run. So I'll leave it there, and hooroo and bye-bye.